All right, yeah, we're recording. So you were asking what's going to be on it. So it's going to be the first 3 exams, and it's going to be chapters 13, 19, and 20.
Oh, I did chapter 15 study guide yesterday.
Wait, if you did a study guide from the Google Classroom, then you're okay, because shouldn't be 15. I don't think we have a 15. So as long as it was on the Google Classroom, you definitely didn't waste your time, even if it was.
Let me see.
Yeah, so it goes from 10 to 13.
It says chapter 15 quiz attempt now. Oh, that was health. Never mind. I got
That's
health
right.
pulled up. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So yeah, anything you do, obviously, if you do one of the steps, I think you've done them already, but anybody watching this video, if you do one of the study guides other than 13, 19, or 20, it's not a complete waste of your time, because it'll help you study. But the better way of preparing for the older stuff is to look at the first 3 exams, because what I'm going to do to write the final is, how it's all shuffled, right? So I'm going to look at the first exam. I'm going to put it on shuffle. Let's see, 50 divided by 3. So I'm going to get about 16 questions from the first exam, about 16 from the first exam, about 16 from the second exam, and about 16 from the third exam. The first 16 that pop up. So there won't be there's no rhyme or reason to it. You don't need to try to figure out what's going to be on there. Like, oh, is he going to put something harder on there or easier? It's just going to be completely random. So was there any specific questions you had, like through any of the study guides or the old exams?
At the moment, I was just trying to get into my study guide.
Okay.
That I did yesterday to see which one it was, and I got like 4 or 5 of them wrong. I was going to ask you about them.
Sure. Let me open it up. Let's see. And then once I do that, I'll share my screen. What was that, chapter 19 that you did, or chapter 13? I don't remember.
I'm trying to get in there to see where they're at right at the moment.
Okay.
If I go back into it, I'm on. Let's see, just Google Classroom. I had to go back into 2021 stuff, and I can't.
Huh.
Get back there now.
Let's see. I'm looking at chapter 13 right now, and
is that the one I did yesterday? They got sent to you?
Yes. All right. That is one that you've done. All right.
Yeah, that's the one I did yesterday, I think.
All right. So we're recording, and you don't mind me addressing the ones you missed, right?
Not at all.
All right. And you only missed 4 of them. So let's take a look here and present my screen. Chapter 13. All right. So you can see the screen.
Yeah, I got to pull it back up real quick.
I can see that's okay. Can you see it on my end?
Yes.
That's all we need. All right. There we go. So you actually, this one was wrong. There's a glitch on this one. You actually got it right. Which of the following is not a requirement of natural selection? And the answer is gene flow. So you got that one right. I fixed it. Because gene flow, remember, that's just another type of evolution, right? We said there's natural selection, and then there's gene flow and genetic drift and all that. So yeah, that's definitely not, that's not a requirement of natural selection. So good job on that. Here we go. Which one of the following statements is true? And the reason yours is wrong is because you put individuals evolve through natural selection. Remember, no single individual evolves. Only populations evolve. Again, going back to the example of the peppered moths, there was no single moth that was white and turned dark, right? At one point, there was some light-colored moth who had eggs, and her offspring happened to be dark-colored. So she didn't change colors, but she just happened to give birth to dark offspring. And then because there happened to be pollution, those dark offspring happen to have an advantage. So yeah, the key to that being wrong is the word individuals. So I guess if I were to write that on the exam, I could change the wording to say populations evolve through natural selection, in which case that would not be a true statement, or that would be a true statement. That makes sense?
So the answer to that one would it be A?
A, yeah, exactly.
Selection works on a variation
Already present in population. Yeah. So, for example, I could turn the correct answer into an incorrect answer by saying something like, natural selection works on variation that is not present in a population, right? If it's not present, then it doesn't matter. Or natural selection does not need variation already present in a population. And then again, that's another way of making that correct statement an incorrect statement. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, because that's exactly how it'll be on the exam with me rewording it. So the next one, Hardy-Weinberg formula. So remember, there was two different ones. There was P plus Q equals 1, and that's when you're looking at the alleles, right? So, the percentage of dominant alleles plus the percentage of recessive alleles equals 1. But here, this is the other one. The other one, which is P squared plus 2PQ plus Q squared equals 1. In that case,
frequency of homozygotes per one.
Exactly. Yes. Most importantly, and I think I might make this a little bit easier on the exam, I don't know yet, but if you see that question, the most important thing to realize, if we have a P squared, that means it's that formula that has the 3 parts to it, right? P squared plus 2P squared plus Q squared. And if you see that, the most important thing to remember is that you're not dealing with an allele anymore. You're dealing with genotypes. So there's either going to be homozygous dominant, heterozygous, or homozygous recessive. So if you can remember that, you should be good.
Okay.
Which is why I like this, the way the study guide words it. It says that the correct answer is the frequency of the homozygotes for one allele, which is true. Generally, though, P is the homozygous dominant, but I like how it doesn't even get that specific. It keeps it simple. It's just the homozygotes for one allele. Could be dominant, could be recessive. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's not the 2PQ, which is the heterozygote. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Before I move forward, I'll let you know, and anybody watching this video, there'll be another 10% boost question on the exam. So when you see a question that makes absolutely no sense and has a lot of different options, then the correct answer is banana. Do you have something to write that down with?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So again, there'll be another wacky question like there has been for the first 3 exams. The answer is banana. And if you get that correct, then whatever your grade is, you'll have a 10% boost. So if you have 100 on the exam, you'll have 110 when you're done. If you have a 90, you'll have a 99. If you have a 50, you'll have a 55, so on and so forth. All right. Moving forward. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm like double dipping here. I'm working, but I'm also on an exercise bike. All right, number 34. Which of the following is an example that results from directional selection? Before I even get into the options that are on the study guide, I don't like the way this is written in the study guide. So you probably will have, or you might have a question like this on the exam, but if I do it, it'll be a lot more obvious. Because to me, your answer, there is an increase in the number of different breeds of dogs. That's not a very obvious answer one way or the other. Technically, what you chose would have been correct if we were talking about disruptive selection instead of directional selection.
Right.
But again, the way this is going to be worded on the exam, if you have it, will be much different. So what you need to know if it's directional selection is you're going towards one extreme phenotype. So like if the population becomes taller, or if the population becomes shorter, or if the population becomes darker, or the population becomes lighter, right? You see how it's like going in one direction or the other?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like the example in the lecture, we were talking about mice, and we're saying a majority of the population of those mice were gray colored. Like most of those mice were gray colored. But then through natural selection, something happened and there was an advantage to being dark colored. So because of that, there were fewer and fewer light colored and medium colored mice and more dark colored moths, right? So it's switched. It went towards the direction of the dark colors. And that's what makes it directional selection. Does that make sense now?
Yes.
Okay. Using the same example, because again, the way your study guide is written is stupid. If it was stabilizing selection, then again, if you start off with a population that's mostly medium colored mice, right, and very few light colored, very few dark colored, stabilizing selection would mean you'd have even more medium colored mice and even fewer dark mice and even fewer light mice, right? So there you're going like more towards the average. That's stabilizing selection. The opposite would be disruptive selection. So in disruptive selection, you would have fewer of that medium phenotype, right? Fewer of the gray mice and even more dark colored and even more light colored.
Right.
All right. So we're good there. All right. 39, I won't even waste our time talking about it. That was one of those things from the lecture, from the process of science that I said would not be on the exam. So that's it for chapter 13.
And I haven't got a chance to do the chapter 21 yet. I've been working on a 7-page research paper for English.
Oh, man. Well, what we can do once you get around to it, I don't know, just do it. And then if you have any questions, email me your questions. And I guess this goes for anybody else watching the video. If you have questions, even though we're done with the exam review, if I have time, I'll get back on, even if I'm by myself, and I'll, provide the answers and explain why this is the right answer. Do what I just did. But again, I can't promise I'll be able to. I'm going out of town this weekend, but I promise that I will try. So your best bet is, again, do the study guides, look at the first 3 exams. Let me know if you have any questions. And that's it. Also,
is the exam Monday?
Yep, exams on Monday. Yep, Monday at 8. Online. Other than the fact that it's going to be 100 questions long and you have twice as long to do it, it's going to be just like every other exam we've ever had.
Okay.
All right. Well, like I said, I guess that's it. But if you have any other questions, you or anybody watching the video, please let me know. And I promise I'll do everything I can to help you. And also, you might consider starting study groups with each other. If you're looking for my help and I'm not able to help you, maybe one of your classmates can help. So anyway, good luck. And I'll be here hopefully if you need me, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.